Hi, good evening. This is the Town of Monroe's Board of Finance regular meeting. Today is Thursday, June 18th. It is 6 p.m. Please note that the meeting will be recorded and made available on the town's website in accordance with Connecticut state law. I'm going to take roll call. Catherine Stoffer,
Present.
Steve Hirsch,
Present.
Steve Stelmack, present. Nick Sentimentes. Sam Spino.
She
So-
texted that she will be 3 minutes late.
Okay, thank you. Ron Manowski,
Present.
Heidi Mead, present. Frank Dutchess.
Here.
Is Deb Hines calling it? Is that-
I don't know, there is somebody on they're muted.
Was she planning? No?
Hi, this is Nick.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, that was
Thank-
Nick, okay.
Mystery solved.
Okay, so we'll, for the record, Sam Spino's not here yet. Gary Rooney's not here and Joe Cox is not here this evening and Deb Hines, maybe she'll call him, so we'll watch that. Okay, next up is review of the minutes. Is there a motion to accept the meeting minutes as presented?
Madam Chair, I move to accept the special meeting minutes of April 14th, 2026, the regular meeting minutes of April 15th, 2026, the voting record of April 16th, 2026, the special meeting minutes of May 7th, 2026, and the special meeting minutes of May 14th, 2026.
Or a second? Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, Steve Hirsch,
Aye.
Steve Stelmack. Hi. Catherine Stoffer. She's muted again.
Aye.
Nick Sentimenti.
Hi,
Thank you. All right, that comes in. Okay, next up, we have the review of our financial reports. We'll start with the year-to-date general fund budget report.
One thing I did want to mention, that report is as of June 12th, so it was year to date. It wasn't through May, it was the most current we had as we're approaching year end. Heidi and I thought it would be best to get you as present numbers as possible.
Okay. All right, just for the record, I know you're right there, 6:03 p.m.
So it wouldn't have been that bad if everyone else wasn't on time.
I know. Maybe you can look right here up like to the minute, but then I'm much better than that one, so.
Well, we just started reviewing the financial report, so. Any questions?
So this is actually through June 12th, is that what?
It's actually through June 12th,
Okay.
yes. The board, so the town general fund is through June 12th. The Board of Education reports are through May 31st.
Any questions, Catherine or Nick?
Catherine's muted. Catherine, you are muted.
I am all good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so moving on to the fund activity statement for the public schools. And just to reiterate, these are through May 31st.
Ron, do you have any comments about where you're gonna end, and then I have a specific question?
So I've, so we're right now, we've got 1 day left to school, but we've got about, we've got a payroll and a quarter left. Projecting everything out, I just reviewed open purchase orders today with special education. Looking through the end of the year, we're looking at I'm gonna say a slight surplus, nothing to the tune that we've had in the past. Okay.
So, for this,
There is one project on the board side that did overrun that the board is gonna be able to cover out of their budget. If we weren't gonna be able to cover it out of the budget, we were gonna use one of the revenue funds. We are gonna be able to cover it out of the budget. It's negative on the town side. That's it's the press box, which we ran into problems because the old press box was built over the leaching fields, from the septic field, okay?
I recall.
So that, but we are gonna be able to cover that, so that was, that's all I wanted to.
okay,
I'm sorry.
so, yeah, because I was looking at the bottom line here.
Yep.
And recognizing the, even with the incumbency.
Yeah, so-
So that number, I don't want to say it's overstated, it's just not caught up.
Exactly, so this was as of May, and if you look
Right.
at the payroll encumbrances, the teachers, so in specifically 751113, which is on page 1 of the budget report.
Yeah.
It shows 4.3 million encumbered for teachers, 959,000 encumbered for special ed certified staff. Those were paid out with the balloon pay, which was on, I should know when it was. I think it was, let me look on the calendar. It was the first payroll of June. So it hit. So those encumbered payrolls have already hit.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the teachers get paid out for the entire summer
Mhm.
in their balloon
Would
pay.
that be-
Oh, yeah, for the record.
It was-
So 8 PM in downtown Strong, painful.
It was June 5th, the date of the,
Yeah, I figured there was a bunch of stuff to go there. I do have a question on page 2. Under professional educational, 753200. there was-
753200, yep.
7 line.
So there was transfers adjustments, so there was an adjustment down of $80,000. Now you've got encumbrances and actual expenses, encumbrances of 88,000, and now you're showing the shortfall of 105 or an overspend, whatever you want to call it, 105,000. And I wondered, why did you take the 80 away and?
I'd have to go back at that time and look. If you want to give me a minute, I can go grab my laptop and pull up the,
I'm just,
before I do that, do you have any other questions, or was that?
no, that was the only. It was just sort of an oddball we took away, and now we're gonna. It's gonna end up getting,
Yeah,
wondered why.
and I'm gonna be honest with you, that happened, I think that happened with some of the salary accounts too. The salary accounts are easily explainable. You may have had, staff movement, but you may have, we also had many maternity leaves this year where people went out. They were being paid their sick time, but we had to replace them with long-term subs, which, so that's more easily explainable with the salary lines. Let me, 753200. You wanted to move on to the tax collector and treasurer, and
Sure.
it'll take me let me grab my
The salary stuff, we're big numbers and I think it's a third, and the other stuff is just small stuff.
Okay, so monthly report of the treasurer.
This bottom line is we're in pretty good shape as far as, interest income goes. May, our interest income was, 133,000 and change. May year to date, we're just a little bit over 2.4 million against a plan of 2.35. So at that point, we were exceeding our number. I anticipate the full year interest income coming around 2.6, which would put us about 250,000 above plan. We did 133,000 this month. There's no bond renewals in that. The 133 will go down because our each month as we get towards the end of year, the amount that we're having interest on goes down. But we do have a one bond that is coming due. So my guess is we're going to come in just around 2.6 against that plan of 2350. So we'll be about $250,000 above plan. June, we have $1,248,000 in T-bills maturing. We purchased $1,750,000 in a 12-month T-bill. And that's coming in at about a 3.67% rate for the year. The current STIP rate is 3.72 as of today, and it's been in a very narrow range, moving between 3.70 and 3.75 really for the last couple months. In terms of longer range outlook, as everyone knows, we got a new Fed chair. I listened to his first press conference yesterday. He was, number one, very impressive. He has a good grasp of what's going on. And I think he's also going to make some changes, but based on what is really happening in the market, as opposed to looking from a rear view mirror, he's going to start looking more in the front mirror. I think he has a different perspective on growth and its impact on inflation. And I think he'll nudge those changes. I don't think he's going to come in and make any abrupt changes. He put together 5 committees to look at different parts of it. And he anticipates that being done by the end of the calendar year. So we're not going to see dramatic changes, but we will see some changes. This week, the Federal Open Market Committee left their rates unchanged, which leaves the Fed target rate at the same 3.5 to 3.75. The effective Fed rate is about 3.63. Interest rates are expected to remain flat in the near term, which has a positive impact on us because the model said we were going to start declining right here. If you look at, and Steve, you asked this question a lot, what did the dot plot look like? And the dot plot was very interesting in the fact that you had, of the voting members, you had 9, and this is for calendar year, they're looking at, not for calendar year, you had 9 who were saying, we may look at a rate increase. You had 8 who said, no, we're gonna stay where we are. We're not gonna stay. And you had 1 who said we're gonna reduce it. The interesting thing is the new Fed chair did not put in a plot. So if you look at that, that basically says we're not going anywhere for the next 6 months probably. And I think the other interesting thing about that is the dot plot is done before the meetings start. So they really didn't get any influence from Warshed. And we didn't have anything yet in terms of, and God knows where it really goes, but in terms of the MOU with Iran, Iraq, Iran. So, I think there's still a high degree of uncertainty. But I think where we are, our model says full fiscal year, we're still gonna see some rate decreases. Full year, probably not, in terms of calendar year, we're still gonna see some, but there will probably be less than what we built into our model. So there'll probably be a positive impact again next year in terms of our interest income. What exactly it's gonna be with all the unknowns at this point, don't know, but I think will be a positive impact.
As long as it stays flat.
Yeah.
At this point, I'll just take
Yes,
I'll
that
take
is
flat
so.
because our mind says we're going down.
My guess says we're not gonna stay flat for the
For the
whole
whole year.
fiscal year, but probably for the next 6 months we will.
But
That's how that works.
that's half,
Yeah,
that's half the year.
so instead of 1950, maybe we will, get back up above 2. So that's kind of where they are. Give you a little perspective just on the new that year.
Thank you. Any questions for Frank?
I'm good here. Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome.
All right, monthly report of the tax
Before we
collector.
go there, can you just go back to Ron and get,
Oh, sure.
Do you want to do me now or before, or after? It's up to you.
We could.
Okay.
Go back to Board of Ed.
So within that, object code of 753-200, the majority of that actually 95,000 of that adjustment, there was 15,000 going the other way in another line, but, was in outside agencies in special education. Now, since the report was run, on June, for the end of May, some POs have been liquidated. So the, overall, that object code is now only over 84,000 as opposed to 105. Okay. Now, that's a moving target, that could change. But to answer your question, at that time, Steve, when that adjustment was made, it wasn't needed in that account, it is now. So we'll have money to cover it elsewhere in the Board of Ed budget, so not a concern, but.
yeah, as long as the bottom line comes out, I think we did, that we just sort of we took a bunch and. Okay. Thank you.
And like I said, we'll have to do that in some salary lines also.
Yeah, I even thought of asking about those because I figured it was that, I figured there might be some reclassifications that if something figured at that one time along the way.
Yes.
So,
All right, Deb, now you're up.
Okay. We hit budget, great.
yeah,
So we hit budget, we're at 98, practically 98.7, we're just a little short of that. Overall, at 728,000 over, budgeted altogether. Probably by the end of the year, it's definitely over, three quarters of a million, so we'll have back to the general fund for, next year, the fund balance. Everything is slow for this month. We're gearing up for our July collections, which we're ready to start July 1st. The bills are up at, the information is up at our software company. And we're just waiting to get the data and everything, so it's just a matter of time, but everything is looking good.
are the assessments online now?
What's that?
Are the actual assessments online?
The bills will not
Until
be online till July 1st,
July.
because because how our financial system is set up, we can't collect till July 1st. So July 1st at midnight, they go online, and then people can start paying from there. And they can look their bills up and pay from there. The bills will be mailed out on June 29th at the post office, and everyone should be receiving them. Part stickers, will be in the bills. And I don't foresee any problems. Everything seems to be going nice and smooth.
As we would expect that.
Everyone is, people have lost their bills already, which I think is kind of ironic. They're coming in saying, I lost my bill. And I said, well, that's funny, I didn't mail them yet.
That parking sticker, that's what
Yeah,
they all
that's-
want.
A lot of people have come in looking for them, saying they lost.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We have fun.
All right,
Any other questions?
for Deb? All right,
Thank
hearing
you.
none.
Mm-hmm.
Public participation, I don't see anyone online and I don't see anyone in the room. So we'll move forward to correspondence. There's a number of, documents that we have. The first one being our, what's become kind of yearly, right? The audit that they do, and there is a questionnaire that for each of the board members to fill out and, send back. And I think last year, did you send them yourself?
I think that you had to send them to you or compiling for, but I don't remember.
I'm trying to remember.
I think I could be wrong, but I think they want them directly
That's usually how
to
they.
them,
Yeah,
so,
From each individual
Yeah.
person?
yeah.
So-
So there's an email in the letter, so if you guys can fill out your form, sign it. Scan it, can you help
Yeah, the
scan it?
letter is dated
Yeah,
June first. It's the second,
Oh.
it's the second part.
Second part of the process.
In your packet, it's the second.
Or reading this.
Oh, it's in the middle of the second paragraph.
Yeah,
You turn to Kate.
Kate Patnam.
Kate Patnam. Patnam.
It's bold and underlined, so that's just, it's only bold underlined, so.
Long letter.
Wrong letter?
Yeah, keep going,
That's not.
keep going, keep going, keep going.
that one,
That-
right?
Oh, this,
No, no,
oh, this
that
one.
one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha,
And-
thank
And
you.
the next pages
Is it,
are what you have
I'll have
to
to
fill.
fill out. We have to put our names on it?
Oh, yeah, on the back.
On the
Yes.
back, okay,
Keep pages.
okay. And we can email it, okay, good, thank you. Actually, not question, but like, this is pretty standard for audits. But, I've read through some of the questions in advance and like, again, typical questions, but they want us to talk about whether or not, we've been communicated, how your internal controls and the things that you do to prevent fraud. So I think this might be a good opportunity, maybe to kind of talk about the controls in the system, the things that you've all do, especially with member board members. And I think good to kind of share a little bit of that so we can, if they want to know, like, are there any
which question are you,
has management reported to the board or committee as to how the organization's internal controls identifies and responds to the risks of fraud? So if we haven't talked to you about it, we can't really answer it. So it would be, I think, a good opportunity to kind of share a little bit about that.
Sure, so, again, there's, you're an auditor, so, internal controls are set in place to, help. Nothing's gonna prevent fraud. If you have collusion,
Mhm.
You could have fraud. So hopefully that is, with the hiring process is, weeds a lot of that out. What we do have, and I'll use some, as far as going through all of our internal controls, that would probably be a little difficult, but let's start, we actually had an off-the-record conversation with Rebecca regarding credit cards. That seems to be a hot topic in the state right now. So we have multiple credit cards that are used within the town. Two of them have one has my name on it, one has Heidi's. Those are kept central in our finance department. So if a department head needs it, they borrow it. They need a PO in place, they sign it out. When they're done with it, they return it, sign our account. I don't know if they sign it back in or our account or Kalana signs it back in. Receipt. Yes, and then that's reconciled when the statement comes in by our accounts payable.
But I will say, like, we also talked about, there's division of duties in the finance department.
Yes.
So things that Heidi does gets approved by Ron.
Yes.
So we have that like delegation of authority as well, so. Yeah, not all of that is kind of as transparent because that's their day to day, but it is in place.
Well, if you look at it at the very big picture, what's coming through in terms of getting approved, gets approved at the department level, then, and again, I'll talk from the town side, it's very similar on the Board of Ed side. Heidi will then review, make sure that it's budgeted, make sure that it's appropriately approved. At that point, it goes to the first selectman. The first selectman then makes the decision whether or not he is signing off on it. Nothing is then cut until it then comes to the treasurer signs. We made a change a few years ago to make sure that that process wasn't bumped around or skipped, that now only after it goes to the treasurer does it go out.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. Those controls, like, those physical controls between people, making sure there's no one put eyes on it. I mean, I know you all, right, I figured that was a big part.
Yeah, and
that has three sets of, and that works the same, and the board, Joe signs it, Ron reviews it, and then it comes to me.
And then Heidi, can you speak to the purchase order process? Because nothing gets done without the purchase order.
Purchase orders have to be in place, we will not let them sign up the credit cards without it. Once in a great while, you will see a purchase report because they had to make a decision to fix something or whatever the case, an emergency. Yeah, so we catch up with that pretty quick. So yeah, everything has to have a purchase order.
So who
And-
approves the purchase orders?
So department head,
Department head, okay.
Heidi, myself.
Based on it being in the budget.
In the budget.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it goes through a workflow.
Okay, thank you, yeah.
Are there like approval thresholds, like where, you know, something can stop with you and they always have to follow? the
They
rules?
go through the whole chain.
The whole chain, so it's not just one person saying risk, go ahead, okay, thank you.
Now, if there's let's say it's a I can't think of an exact example offhand, but if there's an item that is in the budget and the council has approved the contract, and let's say it's a radio system that's in the budget for the police department, we may do a direct PO at that point, okay? If there's a contract in place already that's been signed by the first selectman.
I have a contract where there's a monthly fee, like a subscription service, Verizon,
Yeah.
maybe if that's who you use for your, whoever you
Yeah.
use, telecom or
If
whatever.
it's already gone before council and has been approved and it's been approved in the budget already. Now, if it's a direct PO, Heidi will usually do the direct PO and she'll be like, Ron, sign this, and I'll sign off on it, you know? So that's as opposed to it going through the workflow, if it's already gone before, if the contract has already been approved by the town council.
Basically, always an approval.
Yes.
Approval process in place before it.
Yeah.
Well, and then we have our charter where it goes to town council, comes to board of finance, so there's like checks and balances.
Yeah, I just thought, you know, I know that they're there, I just thought it would be good to kind of,
Yeah.
just brag about all the good things you did when we have like a nice little, you know, we're able to say, yes, we do stuff about it.
Yeah. Now,
Well,
You know-
then you have the formal audit process.
absolutely. Now, the only other, so what Frank was speaking to before were, the warrants where checks are cut.
Mhm.
When there are wires, like our bond payments,
Mhm.
which are, structured payments, which needs to be paid, and we wire the funds from our bank. Those are typically done through, Heidi will usually input them. I will sign off on them. They'll go out, but, typically after the wire is done, Frank will do it at that point. But he does see it, it's, the invoice matches the wire information and it is reviewed.
Mhm.
Typically, it's reviewed after the fact because during the wire process, it's got to get paid on, it's typically, we're not setting them up too far in advance, so.
But again, it's everything that's in the budget, but
Yes,
it's
yes.
already been approved.
yes,
in the budget.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So I can't think of,
And with our bank, we have a fraud alert set up where if anybody, like I'll call Ron, if he's at the board, I'm like, are you setting up wires? And he'll be like, yeah.
Oh, because you get a
Yeah.
notification.
Yep,
Yes.
anybody who doesn't sign in correctly or anything like that.
And we-
Positive thing.
we do.
Yeah.
yes, I was just gonna speak to that.
And just one other thing, if, for example, I'm out of town, by charter and by state law, I have the ability to designate an appointee.
Mhm.
And I usually designate Ron, but what it says is in the event you should, not be available for the Department of Finance approver. If he's also the approver for the Department of Finance, it then goes to Jonathan Formicello as the, chairman of, town council.
Maybe we have covered if there's something that
Yes.
happens, whether it's
Yes.
vacation or unexpectedly out,
Yes.
it's always a process.
There's a continuity plan.
Yeah, we do it in conjunction with the state charter and, our town charter.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
yes.
that.
I appreciate that, being new.
Okay, so I think as far as the due date, if everyone can have their forms back to Catherine, maybe by the end of the month. I think that would help her out.
Yeah, I thought we had to send them individually.
Yeah, so if you can fill it out and have it.
Catherine, the auditor, Catherine Patton, yeah.
Not me.
Sorry, Catherine.
I will do that.
Catherine Patnard, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
okay.
You gotta remember, I am still a little naive to all of this, I'm learning, so thank you.
Okay, okay, so the next item was the WMNR's general manager budget letter.
So you're you're kind of acting in new business
I
already,
know I am, right? So-
which, again, if you don't mind me,
Sure,
this is my thought is the correspondence is here. It's
yeah,
in the packet. You can address each in new business.
okay,
So we're kind of in new business already, if that makes sense.
Oh, I see.
Because we already discussed the preliminary communication
so-
fraud inquiry, so.
we're
Yeah.
skipping to 7B, is that good? We're gonna,
Yeah, and we can reference the sorry fund.
Absolutely, yeah.
okay,
So, yeah, we do study. Early education on. Study. I think, I'll make, we're looking at it on the table, and we can discuss the letter.
okay,
So new business, item D. I will now introduce and read the following resolution. Resolved that the FY 2027 proposed budget for WMNR is hereby approved as presented. I move that the resolution be adopted.
a second,
I'll second.
okay, and any discussion?
Go ahead, Steve.
Well, I'm just gonna say, there's a letter, here. I also happened to, have an opportunity to speak with, Craig Anderson, when it came before the council, and we were just chatting about it. The only thing I would make note of, is that, even though they had the loss of federal funds, they more than made up for it. The additional fundraising, that was a concern that we had last year, I had. And the only other, comments that I tend to make is, would be on the bank service charges. The project is more for you. That bank service charge is credit card fee and people making donations.
Oh, okay.
So that's, we'll just ask that over to you. So, what that was.
Is this the radio station that's over on 25?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm with Fred Hawaii. He used to be he used to have the radio show, one of the radio shows in the afternoon. They used to go to St. Louis Grace, so he passed away a few years ago.
I'll make just one comment. For the first time, Kurt reached out to me, for some help in terms of what his interest would be. He was very thankful a couple of years ago when we made the change, when we started getting him the same interest that the town was getting on all of his accounts. And what I did was I took the same model that we used and just broke it down to his specific thing. So that's where his number comes in terms of interest income. We just took my numbers and both of it.
Good. And given where we're at, that interest income for the 27 is still, that's what you got that,
Yeah.
34.
Yeah.
So,
And you'll notice it's a slight reduction again
Yeah.
because our model is actually done.
for the conservative.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready for roll call? Okay, Steve Kirsch, Dee Salmon. Aye. Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Nick Sentimentes.
Aye.
All right. that sounds good. Oh, Sam, I'm so sorry. You're finally here.
It's okay,
I'm so sorry.
And Rebecca, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am, always. Okay, next up is to consider an act upon a resolution for first selectman to transfer funds from the HR wage adjustment account for fiscal year 2027.
Chair, I will now introduce and move the following resolution. Resolved that pursuant to chapter 8, section 7G of the charter for the town of Monroe, that the first selectman is hereby authorized to transfer funds from the HR wage adjustment account in an amount not to exceed the appropriation of $284,859 as approved in the fiscal year 2027 annual town budget, and that these transfers are necessary to effectuate retroactive and prospective salary adjustments, A, pursuant to certain collective bargaining agreements as authorized and approved by town council, and B, as determined by the first selectman for certain unaffiliated employees. I move that the resolution be adopted.
1 second. Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Dee Salmon. Aye. Nick Sentimentes,
Aye.
Sam Spino. Aye. And Rebecca, aye. And that passes. Okay, the next item is to consider and act upon a resolution to approve and recommend for adoption by the town a resolution authorizing an appropriation of $2,030,000 for the fiscal year 2026 road construction, reconstruction, and Cod Drive culvert replacement, and authorizing the issuance of the town's general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed the $2,030,000 to finance the appropriation.
Madam Chair, I will now introduce and read the following resolution. Resolved that the resolution entitled, quote, resolution authorizing an appropriation of $2,030,000 to the FY 2026 road construction, reconstruction, and Cod Drive culvert replacement, and authorizing the issuance of the town's general obligation bond in an amount not to exceed $2,030,000 to finance the appropriation, unquote, a copy of which is attached hereto and is hereby approved and recommended for adoption by the town. I move to waive the reading of the entitled resolution and that its full text be incorporated into the minutes of the meeting.
And second? Second. Any discussion? Okay, Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Dee Stelmack. Aye. Nick Sentimentes,
Aye.
and Sam Spino. Aye. Rebecca is in front of us. That,
I move that the resolution be adopted. That was just the waiving the reading.
so we have to roll call that. please.
Yes, we have the roll call.
Okay, Catherine Stoffer.
Actually, the second.
Oh, I need a second. Okay. Sorry. Any discussion? Hearing none, Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Dee Stelmack. Aye. Nick Sentimentes,
Aye.
Sam Spino. Aye. And Rebecca O'Donnell, aye.
it's just a point of order, Madam Chair. In each of you, you have two items. One is to waive the reading of the entire thing, in the second is to actually approve the resolution itself.
Okay, thank you. Noted. Okay, the next item is to consider and act upon a resolution to approve and recommend for adoption by the town a resolution authorizing an appropriation of $165,000 for the fiscal year 2026 fire department improvements and vehicle purchase project, and authorizing the issuance of the town's general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $165,000 to finance the appropriation.
Madam Chair, I will now introduce and read the following resolution. Resolved as a resolution entitled, quote, resolution authorizing an appropriation of $165,000 for the FY 2026 fire department improvements and vehicle purchase project, and authorizing the issuance of the town's general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $165,000 to finance the appropriation, unquote. A copy of which is attached hereto, is hereby approved and recommended for adoption by the town. I move to waive the reading of the entitled resolution and that its full text be incorporated into the minutes of the meeting.
Do I have a second? Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Steve Stelner, Nick Sentimentes,
aye,
Jim Spino. Aye. And Rebecca is an aye as well. Yeah, passes.
I move that the resolution be adopted.
Second. Steve? Any discussion? Hearing none. Catherine Stoffer,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Steve Stelner, Nick Sentimentes,
aye,
Jim Spino. Aye. And Rebecca is an aye. Motion passes. And the next is to consider and act upon a resolution to approve and recommend for adoption by the town a resolution authorizing the acquisition of real estate commonly known as the Benedict Farm for town purposes in the sum of $2,740,000 and the future management thereof. 2, an appropriation in the sum of $2,740,000 for the acquisition of said real estate. And 3, the issuance of the town's general obligation bonds in amount not to exceed $850,000 to finance a portion of the appropriation. And 4, the application of grant funds and contributions to finance the balance of the appropriation.
Madam Chair, I will now introduce and move the following resolution. Resolved that the resolution entitled, quote, resolution authorizing 1, the acquisition of real estate commonly known as Benedict Farm, the town purchases in the sum of $2,740,000 and the future management thereof. 2, an appropriation in the sum of $2,740,000 for the acquisition of said real estate. 3, the issuance of the town's general obligation bonds in an amount not to exceed $850,000 to finance a portion of the appropriation. And 4, the application of grant funds and contributions to finance the balance of the appropriation. And 5, the application of grant funds and contributions to finance the balance of the appropriation. I move to waive the reading of the entitled resolution and then its full text be incorporated into the minutes of the meeting.
Second? Second. Any discussion? Hearing none.
Yeah, I have a question. So this was not in our capital plan.
It was not, because it was, my understanding, it was being negotiated, there was a grant involved with,
Right.
Aspatuck Land Trust, and it was being, negotiated, I believe, with our first selectman, town attorney. And it was contingent upon town, the approval process we're going
So
through.
this has to go to a town.
Meeting on Monday,
Okay,
and that was contingent upon it getting passed.
okay. Why is there no language in here recommending this
That's done by town council. The
Okay,
recommendation.
okay.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
If I could make a point, it looks like part of the, and this was probably my fault. It looks like the resolution, part of the resolution was actually doubled up. That part 5 is a duplication of part 4 that Steve read.
Yeah.
And so it should end at 4. And if you want, as part of the, we can go to the correspondence.
Oh, I
Double
see.
check
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
this something that we will be able to see the purchase contract for?
Would you be able to see it? Yeah, I mean, it would have to get, I would assume, approved by town council,
Okay.
but I don't, that would become a public document at that point.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I think what I need to do is amend the resolution for scope of that thing.
That's probably the safest thing going.
Madam Chair, I move to amend the resolution to strike the last sentence beginning with the word and ending with the word appropriation.
One second. Any discussion on that? Okay, okay, so for roll call, Catherine Stopper,
Aye.
Steve Parrish,
Aye.
Steve Stelmack. Aye. Nick Santos,
aye,
Sam Spino. Aye. And Rebecca Romanes. Aye.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Yes, Sam. Motion signed.
And just as an aside, that puts it in sync with the meeting agenda. It stops it there.
Okay, so now we have the motion to raise the meeting, which I made in the second, so we need to vote on that.
Okay. Which D? Yeah, okay, so Catherine Stopper,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Steve Stelmack. Aye. Sam Spino. Aye. Nick Santos,
aye,
Rebecca Romanes. Okay,
I move that the resolution be adopted.
second? No, Sam, I don't know, Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, last roll call, Catherine Stopper,
Aye.
Steve Kirsch,
Aye.
Steve Stelmack. Aye. Nick Santos,
aye,
and Sam Spino. Rebecca's an aye. All right, that passes. May I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Right. Thank you.
And just as a side note, the town meeting is on Monday too.
Okay.